Lots of activity, all 4 hives. Let's take a quick peek inside. So now look at March. It's about 17 degrees, which is really quite warm. We'll do a first inspection of the nucs. They have sugar in the top, taking a divider away so that they can come up and eat the sugar. But I have to put this back to put syrup in. One trick I always try to follow is I buy a new hive tool every year for each apiary. So this is this apiary's hive tool. And I try to keep it under one of the tops so that this hive tool is only ever used at this apiary. Just helps be a little bit more hygienic. And I'm not going to use a lot of smoke. I'll try not to use any if I don't need to. So you can see the sugar is here for them to use it. But they would prefer something more liquid. Let's have a look to see how things are progressing. Always make sure to look under the ground board or under the feeder to make sure the cream's not there. Shouldn't be, but doesn't mean she won't be. Take a look. It's not hugely busy right now. Looks like they're just over 2 frames. Potentially a third one. But I can see the stores on these 2. So let's go have a look inside. Oh, it's heavy. Very heavy. We might not actually need any feed at all. Might be what's such a good benefit of the polystyrene nucs. No stores. So this is one type of plastic frame I've been trying. Ah, pull. Now I know why they haven't touched the sugar. And since this is the first inspection, these bees don't know me. In fact, almost every one of these bees was not alive last year. These have been born potentially in the winter. So you don't want to take advantage and act too quick and too you want to be very gentle, because they don't know who I am and they might think I'm trying to steal their honey. So everything is very careful, at least to start with in the year. This is full as well. I can see nectar on this frame. That's brand new nectar. Cap stores from last year. Okay, so now I can see brood, nectar. So you can see here, this is brood. It's nectar, fresh nectar. I can see pollen on the legs. And again, no brood. The queen won't be laying too much right now, just to keep them going. It's only the 9th of March. More brood. There's my queen. This is a Jolanta queen. From Scotland. I really like them. They're very gentle. 4 queens I had last year produced 6 supers of honey. If you can believe that. So Very, very good. So I can also see eggs and larvae. So that is about as much as I want to do in this hive. I can see this frame here is fully loaded with stores. I don't think there is an issue with stores. So if they've got this stores still saved up from winter, there's going to be no more syrup, or there'll be no syrup at this time. I have made the mistake before of assuming that they need the syrup, and what happens is they fill the box with the syrup, leave no room for brood, and then they swarm. And so each year I do an initial inspection around March just to see what the store situation is before I put it in. I'd rather know that they need it before I had to go ahead and put it in there, because I did lose some great queens last year. I like these large hive tools. They can get right down the edges. So just doing a bit of cleaning. This is full. So I really can't see any benefit at all of putting syrup on this hive. So what I'm going to do for the next week is I'll leave this here. It's solid. I'll just let them eat that if they need it. Here's a trick from my mentor. If you see the queen, lay the brick that way. If you don't see the queen, you can lay the brick in the middle that way. Or if it's a brand new queen, I'll leave it this way. When you've got 30 or 40 hives, remembering exactly each one when you're here is sometimes challenging. I have great notes and I have hive numbers on the front. But if you're coming here just to put in a queen, it's just sometimes easier for that visual. This is queenless, or this is a brand new queen. That means everything's okay. I do know some beekeepers use uh, colored bricks. I think that's quite a cool idea as well. All right, let's keep going. Okay, this is not as heavy. You do find from time to time the slugs get up here and they make an awful mess. And they'll get into the tiniest gaps. Right, I was just checking under the hive there. So this also looks really busy. So in this hive, there's actually two types of plastic frames I've been trying. Frames and feeders are the black ones, and beehivebits are the red ones. And there's a slight difference. The frames and feeders is a complete plastic frame. These were given last year and they haven't been able to draw it. But this is plastic coated with wax. That one's not coated very well. The second one is well coated. This is how I like to leave my wax. So it's quite thick, but they do tend to do this. So sort of build this ugly comb on the side. Bees think they know best, eh? So when you see that, you have to correct that quite often in order to get them to build it nicely. And as you can see, this is very thick. So there's no reason that they shouldn't have been able to build on that. Second one, as we're going to get to it. By the way, that is really warm here. So they're generating a lot of heat. This one is actually a frame with a wax sheet inside of it. So like traditional wooden, but it's plastic. And I'm trying the plastic because after 2 years or 3 years, this wooden frame needs to be changed. Even if you boil it, I found that the amount of time you spend trying to boil these versus the cost of just buying a new one can sometimes be not cost effective. But the plastic ones, I could just dip them in water, hot water, melts the wax immediately, and it's ready to go again once they're clean. So sterilize them in some bleach, and they're ready to go again. And so I think you can get, just like these black ones, maybe 10 years out of a frame, maybe even more. With a wooden one, you have to be quite careful because this wood can break as well, especially if they get a lot of if they properlize the wood. It's sometimes quite difficult to get it out for the first one. Oh, let's see what it looks like. I'll be extremely gentle. I see a lot of beekeepers that say, oh, you want to be in and out very quick. You do. If you've got 40, 50 hives in an apiary and you need to get through it quick, fine. But I'm on an allotment and I want these bees to be nice and gentle. I don't want them to attack anyone. So I spend a little bit longer inspecting these ones. And I think everybody on the allotment benefits. So it's quite thick, this frame. It's very heavy. This is what I like to see. I like to see bees that put the stores at the top and leave down here for the brood. They filled this with nectar for now. Can't see any brood or eggs yet. This is last year's stores. Well, good. I can see a few eggs in there. That's nice. Just about a cup size. Just around this area here. Right in the middle. So this is what I do. Each time I put a frame down, I take a second before I take the next frame. Just don't want them to think if I'm trying to race, maybe they might think I'm trying to panic. They can sense it. They can't hear it, but they can sense how I'm feeling. Wow, look at that. Now, there's the queen in the middle. This is a Jolanta queen as well. Brilliant to see. I can see eggs, larvae, nectar, stores, and brood up on the left. The size of these frames are 14 by 12. That's 14 inches by 12 inches. They're quite large. And for me, they're the ones that I prefer. Look at that. This nice biscuit color. That's brand new. What I like to do, I like to put it down and then move it over. Especially since they've never seen me before. So I just go move it over, move it over. Nice and gentle. All right, I'm going to skip this one because I can see right down its stores and empty frames on empty cells on the site. So I'm don't actually care about looking at swarming. It's too early. But I did want to show you this game. So this, look at that. Oh, you know what? This is a plastic frame. I've tried several things. I've got them with wax and I've got them with plastic frames. You can see that they've already started building on it. Can anyone tell me what's the difference between yellow, where they build the wax really nicely, and black, where they built wonky comb? Is yellow foundation, plastic foundation, better than black. See, it's perfect. Because there's nothing on this one, I'll just put it in the side. In the notes, I'm gonna have this frame replaced completely. I do not believe they're gonna build on that. Because this one didn't have a half as much stores, it is going to get some syrup. Oh my goodness, that's heavy. He's a beautiful golden colour. It's full. There's bees on every frame. This is again is another Jolanta Queen. So it's nicely drawnish. There's some spots here. You can see that they've taken all the wax off, actually, this. But they have drawn all of this. Interesting. They've done the top. It's a bit here. And not much else. That's pollen coming in. Old stores. More old stores. Tons of pollen on this frame. So you can see all the different colours here. Yellow pollen's coming in. That might be dandelion. Probably is. Loads of brood. It's all here. Old stores. I can see larvae in all stages. If you give it a bit of a blow with your mouth, they will actually move, and therefore you don't need smoke, will just make them get a bit agitated. This one is actually another plastic frame. A yellow plastic frame, which they've drawn really well. This is a plastic frame in a wooden, sorry, it's a plastic foundation in a wooden frame. I've got a 5-year test going on, trying different things in different apiaries, just seeing what works best for me. There's the queen there. If you actually look right down the frame from the top as you're pulling it out, you can actually see her. She walks differently to the others. So pollen on this side. Old stores on this side. There she is, look. She's just putting her thorax into a cell just there before I disturbed her. Beautiful and golden. This is old stores. Looks like they haven't eaten very much. Which is interesting. That is interesting. So I used to put my nucs over winter on a pallet. One would face this way, the other would face this way, and they would be perpendicular to each other. And this year I put them side by side. And obviously I understand the benefits of one hive's warmth feeding the other. But potentially that's something I'll try again this winter. It's pollen. It's fallen off. It looks like it does look like dandelion. Because I didn't see enough stores in here, I did see enough stores in here. I will not put any syrup into this hive today. But I'll be back in a week. Beautiful golden color. Maybe somebody who's watching will know what golden bees look like. What strain of bee. All right, last one. Wow. So, I've not seen this before. Not only have they eaten all the syrup, all the sugar, they've actually created all this comb. That is crazy. So they've eaten all the sugar. There isn't a bit of sugar left. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Of course, the worry now is that the queen might be on this cone. I need to be very careful. Look at that. It's very strong. It's well attached. Is that a good sign? Right. What I'm going to do, knock them off gently. Just keep looking, see if I can find the queen. Can't see anything in the cone. Here's an interesting observation. The cells are very large. So when the bees are allowed to make the cells that they want, you'll typically find they will make the cells slightly larger. And these cells are used similar size to drone comb, which is the boy bees. Can anyone tell me why they do drone comb like this? Put a message in the comment. Why do they prefer drone comb? Is it for drone, or is it they're using this to store and therefore they know it more efficiently they can build drone comb, which uses less wax for the purpose of storing honey and nectar, pollen? Someone let me know. What we're going to need to do though is we're going to have to cut this because I cannot see her, so I'm happy. So I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to put it in there like so. I'll have to come back and sort this out before I leave today. Right. This one is an empty nuc that I left in the April. Doesn't have anything in it. Goodness, it's full. So, oh, Jolanta, you have a great queen. You see how many bees there are? These were the two on the left side. Funnily enough, this is the one with the majority of the frames being the black frames and feeders. More interesting. Obviously, I broke the cappings on some of this, so this honey here is being consumed, and here as well. Oh, it's heavy. That's how it should be going into winter, not coming out of winter. So when you come into a hive like this, you have to decide whether you start this side, work this way, or start this side and work this way. And sometimes, or usually, there is a frame that is less populated, especially if it's a nuc. Guess what? It's full. So it doesn't matter which side I start. But I think I'm going to try this side. You don't need to use too much smoke, just a tiny amount. Super gentle. Lots of stores, fresh nectar, loads of honey being made. Wow. This is the frame that I use this extra amount of wax. They poured it just as good. If you're new to beekeeping, you wonder what you're going to do with this. Put it like this, in between the two wooden posts that I'm using as this hive stand. Lead it across. You're not crushing any bees, and you can then move to the next frame. If you put it back in and you try to pull the next frame across, it is possible to hurt the bees. Oh, wonky comb. Bit of wonky comb. I'm only using a bit of smoke to move them off the side rails. I don't want to crush bees when I put this down. Like so. And then we just move through them as gently as the first one. You see there's lots of bees here. A tiny amount needed. These gloves are excellent. They don't tend to sting you with gloves like these are latex gloves, long cuff, I think about here. I find that you can clean these between apiaries quite easily with soda crystals or water, but you feel so much better with these. Oh, see, they're attacking the code rope. Maybe that's why they're a bit upset when I. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's dark a little bit. So there's lots of stores. We're good. Who'd have thought this is March? Now, if I'd given these guys sugar syrup without this inspection, I can tell you based on how much brood there is, how many bees there are, I would be looking at an early swarm for sure. So what I was just deciding is I'm not going to give them anything. I'm not going to give them any syrup, and I'm actually going to close them off from the area of the feeder. So they won't be able to get up into that space to create that natural comb. Oh, get off my finger. There she is. So this might look quite innocent, but just here there's a couple of drone cells. Can you see? They're slightly higher raised than the other ones. They usually only produce drones when they are thinking about swarming. So that is interesting. It could also be a drone laying queen. So if I saw a drone but I didn't see this, I'm worried. So she's actually just here. It's another Jolanta Queen, golden in colour. Very happy with these bees. They're a bit annoyed with me because, you know, I'm inspecting them for the first time, but they're not trying to sting me. Afraid I do have to inspect them. This whole frame is brood, sealed brood. See eggs, larvae, nectar. Same on this side. Wow, look at that. Do you think they need a bigger box? That is crazy. Okay, so I can see the neck frame is all stores. So another thing you can try is if you find there's so many bees and you're not sure if you should put your hands in there because maybe you're a beginner, we were all there once. Use the hive tool to lever the frame apart. You don't have to use a lot of force. Using the other frame. Leave your force. This one. It's got stores. It's got space. You see the last frame is all stored. I've never had a beehive in March this big before. I'm just going to gently blow the smoke on these bees to get them to go up and over. You can see they're already doing that. They want to go down where the rest of the brood is. Come back in a minute when that's clear. Almost there. I like to use these old, worn out brushes for this. This is natural hair. And the brand new ones, the bees try to attack it. But these old ones, you see how old it is. They tend not to attack it and tend to just go where I ask them to. What was there? All right. Good. What am I going to do with this? Well, I'll take this. I'm going to go like this. Gently. Oh. Now there's not any bees in here, so I'll close that.